Hello and welcome to The Drum. I'm Steve Cannane. Coming up, why the Dalai Lama wasn't fussed about not meeting Julia Gillard. Have Labor and the Coalition swapped roles on asylum seekers? And we talk to Shadow Immigration Minister Scott Morrison about his trip to Nauru. Our panel tonight, ABC Online's Chief Political Writer, Annabel Crabb, CEO of Rate City, Damian Smith, and Jessica Brown from the Centre for Independent Studies. Well, as federal MPs return to Canberra, the issue of asylum seekers once again dominated question time. And at times, it seemed like Labor and the Coalition had traded places, with Julia Gillard talking about getting tough on people smugglers and Tony Abbott accusing the government of inhumane treatment.
Will the Prime Minister pick up the phone to the President of Nauru to reopen a centre which is humane, cost-effective and proven in the fight to stop people smuggling?
Under the Leader of the Opposition's plan, which is a fundamentally weaker plan, what would happen is people smugglers would be able to say to asylum seekers, sure, you'll have to go to Nauru, but you will end up in Australia.
How can you sit there? How can members of the left sit there silent when this government is proposing to deal with boat people in a way which is infinitely worse, vastly worse? Tom Uren has been sitting in this parliament today, listening to members of the Labor Party support a solution for the people smuggling problem which exposes people who come to this country to caning with the rattan.
Even on the question of Nauru, did we actually see any costings come out from them on Nauru? Did we see any solutions? It is the longest distance that anyone has ever travelled to do a doorstop.
Annabel, didn't seem quite right in question time today, did it? The rhetoric.
That's just, I don't know, you see a lot of funny things. There's a weird old day, I think, where you see Tony Abbott appealing to the heavens to Tom Uren to take up his cause. I mean, you get the sense that Tony Abbott is kind of terribly upset that the left of the Labor Party isn't more upset about the Malaysian solution. And look, this is a long argument and a complicated one that involves all sorts of rethinks on all sides. But on the other hand, to hear the Prime Minister carry on about the problem with Nauru being that it's too much of a soft option is kind of a little bit of a change too. Not necessarily for Julia Gillard personally, whose approach to border protection and asylum seeker policy has been fairly consistent over the last 10 years, but certainly for some of her colleagues, that's a pretty unusual thing to hear.
Damian, how would the people in the Labor Party left feel about Tony Abbott invoking the name of Tom Uren, the lion of the left in the ALP for so many years?
Look, I think it's fair to say that the only thing Tom Uren and Tony Abbott have in common is they both got a hell of a jab. These are both great former boxers. I think this is actually a reflection of what happens in a 51-49 world. I think that, Annabel wrote an article about it the other week. See, people do read your articles, Annabel, about, basically all policies being completely interchangeable depending solely on which side of the chamber they're sitting on. I think we can guarantee that if suddenly the independents change sides, then a range of those rhetorical views